Jenny, thanks for taking some time with me to share your story. So, what was your health history? What kind of challenges were you experiencing?
Well, I've been struggle with low back pain since my 20s. I used to play basketball, and I have an accident. I have to be hospitalized. They did a surgery in my back. Since my 20s until today, I've been struggle with low back pain, and thanks to this treatment, I mean, my life has been changed completely.
Did the low back pain did you have a diagnosis from your medical doctors as far as what was going on there? Was it a disc herniation or?
Well, when I was in that time, I was too young. Actually, I never asked. But I mean, the struggle. I've stopped playing basketball. I couldn't walk for 6 months. I had to start the process, from zero, learn to walk and everything. And since that time, I couldn't play sports in the same way that I used to. So when I moved here, the pain, get more and more frequent because it used to be once per year.
Right.
And then it was, like twice per year until now it was like every couple times per month.
Wow. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, how bad was the pain?
10.
Oh, it was way up there.
Yeah. So I normally ending always in an ER after spend like 3-4 times, 3-4 days completely on bed and able to sleep, stand up, or do anything because the pain.
Were they giving you medication? Or?
Yeah, I had to end in with a medication injection that just covered the pain in my mind because it was helping me in the moment. Apparently, I don't have this between my L1 and S5.
Oh, L5, S1? So the very lower part of your back, that disc degenerated.
Yeah, that's degenerate. Is no cushion between them.
Yeah.
And I know when you do exercise and you get stroke core, that can help you, but I wasn't able to do that because the pain come back so often that it was just even impossible to me even move.
Did you try to do anything else for it other than the drugs?
Yeah, I mean, when I went to the doctor, they recommended me a surgery, which I didn't want to. I have a son. I had to work. I had to drive. I mean, I couldn't take that time to just get the surgery and then spend 6 months more on the recovery.
Is that what they said the recovery was 6 months?
Yeah, the 6 months.
Wow.
That what would take. Plus, with the ending that it may be fixed.
Yes, no guaranteed results.
Yeah, no guaranteed results, and plus expensive. And I mean, there was a lot of things that I can't do that. And one of my one of my doctors at work suggests to me, like, have you ever hear about the stem cell treatment? It's like, no, I mean, what is that?
Yeah.
So he actually was the person that introduced, and I was, prompt to read about it, and I realized that it's a procedure very often in Europe and other countries. And it was like, well, I mean, it's a lot of people doing it. It works. It should work,
Yeah.
So that's how I found this clinic, which I'm very happy. And I started to investigate about the procedure, what it is, and it was very surprising for me because it's something new. You are scared sometimes, but dealing with this pain for 20 years, it was like, well, I don't have nothing to lose to win. And I came here, and since this day that I'm being pain-free, able to work out 5 times per week.
How long ago did you have it done?
It has been for my treatment 8 months.
8 months ago?
Yes.
How long did it take from the time you had the treatment till you started feeling the change in your back?
Like 2 weeks.
So within 2 weeks, you started to notice that your back was feeling better?
Yeah, and since I struggled with the sleeping too, I think that was part of the problem, that I couldn't recover when you sleep.
Were you struggling with sleeping because of the pain?
Yes.
And so did people then start to recommend sleep medication to help you sleep?
Yeah, but I never took it. I mean, it was, no, I don't like medications at all, so I prefer, deal with things. But for me, the deal is when I was trying to do exercise, I started feeling good, and then 3 weeks the pain, and then I had to stop for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then I had to, it was like an ending cycle. Like you try to improve yourself, but you are unable to do one app at all, because then you feel the pain. It's not a muscle pain. It's just like the nerve thing. And then I was even scared to bend, I had to stand up like very careful. Like I didn't know when the pain is gonna come back, because at this point I didn't know. Like, it was super random. Before it was, okay, I'm doing too much exercise and I get the pain, or I'm lifting something heavy, I get the pain, or I'm doing this, is the pain. But now I could have been drinking water and then the pain pop up, and it was very frustrated. So it was that kind of frustrating cycle, and then not just because I wasn't able to do what I like to do. It was more because the pain, it was like somebody was breaking me in half.
Ruled your whole life, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So now it's been 8 months. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your pain now?
0.
You feel nothing.
Feel nothing. I feel great, and
again, this is going almost like sensational in nature, but you've had this pain for many years, chronically. And you can only manage it, or I guess you're only managing it through medication. But it went from being a 10 to now you're 8 months later, and it seems like you never had a problem.
The pain didn't come back yet.
Are you surprised by this?
Oh yeah, super surprised. And what I like is it wasn't any time in hospitals. It was a process, fast, easy. It was different. But as I say, after dealing with this pain, like, that was seriously nothing, and I couldn't feel the results right away. And now, since I can do more exercise, I getting more stronger.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a process, like
built on itself.
Built in, because I wasn't able to do one app, and then how you can strain your core if your body is so weak. So I think it's the process that I'm been through, but I'm not running marathons or anything, but little by little, just the fact that I can work out 5 times per week now an hour at least.
Were the doctors that you used to go to before you did the stem cell therapy, conventional wisdom, at least, from my own experience as a practitioner, would be, well, if you've got a really degenerated disc, there's not a whole lot you can do to regenerate that. So you try to manage it. That would be the old thinking. But but in your case, it literally is just the problem doesn't exist anymore for you.
No, that's the surprising thing. I didn't, expect it, but I did my research. I know that in Europe is very popular. This treatment, and not just for the generic this is more other things too. But yeah, my next solution was do a fusion, and that is expensive, and that's the recovery time, and that's I was there before when I was in my 20s. And it was horrible. So I can imagine now that I'm an adult and I had to support my family. I can do that, and I didn't want to. To me, it was the last resource that I had to do, but I always try to find a natural way.
Yes.
And I think I find it with this stem cell treatment.
Well, Jenny, I have to say it's quite a remarkable story. I'm really happy for you that you basically have this problem gone and you have your life back. And thank you for taking the time to sit with me and tell me about it.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Judith, I'm curious to have this conversation because I'm going to get now an additional point of view. We've done this project on pain and Pain Revealed, and looking at really what the prevailing wisdom is out there in the world relative to what people can do who are suffering with either acute or chronic pain that can be debilitating. And we ventured into this area of cell therapies, and we're getting remarkable reports around it. So we started talking to researchers and to clinicians who are utilizing this stuff. Then we started talking to patients, which has been quite startling, the types of reports we're getting. Quite frankly, I was much more skeptical until I started talking to people, and now I'm seeing things maybe a little differently. But now I get this new point of view from you, because you are not the patient, but you were are the caretaker of a patient who is your brother.
That's right.
So can you tell me what kind of challenges your brother was facing and what that meant to you as far as your activities in helping to support him?
Well, from the time he was maybe 7 years old, he had rheumatic fever when he was little. And he had a lot of pain all the while he was growing up. And then when he was 12 or 13, there was something he had to do at school, which was very unwise. He was in a PE class, and they all were supposed to run and jump over all these sandbags and flip over and land on their back, and he landed on his neck, which was very unwise. I told somebody the other day that if that was my kid now, I'd take him to court, but that was a long time ago. At any rate, he always had this pain. He was drafted into the Army with it, and I don't understand how they ever took him, but they did.
What kind of pain was he having?
Pain everywhere, mostly in his arms and legs, and in his neck, of course.
Okay.
And he would take 2 socks, and he'd tie them together, and then he'd put them around his legs and tie them real tight. Or he'd put them around his arms and tie them real tight. And that seemed to relieve him a little bit. Once I asked him, now that your neck is hurting, you're going to put it around your neck and pull it tight. Of course, that was not serious, but
Right.
It didn't really relieve it, but it did relieve it a little bit. Didn't help it, I should say. It didn't cure it, but it relieved it a little. Then when he was an adult, he started taking hydrocodone through the doctor's prescription, and he took it for a long time.
Wow.
However, of course, sooner or later he had to stop because the side effects were getting to him, and so he couldn't do that anymore.
Right.
So he just went ahead and suffered with it for a while until I got this thing in the mail, and I had heard about stem cell, but I didn't quite understand it. I had a lot of misconceptions about it, and I found out it wasn't the bad thing that I thought it was. So I went to the seminar, and then I decided I wanted to try it. So I told him about it and signed him up to come over here and talk about it. And we came. It's been 5 or 6 months, I suppose. We came and talked about it and started that day to get some shots. It was his knees, his elbows, and his neck that could be helped. Now, there's other things wrong with him. He's had a stroke, and he's recovered from the stroke. In fact, he can drive a car, things like that. He has diabetes. Some things he can't remember to do properly. With his money, I pay his bills and take care of his medicine because he gets it mixed up, things like that. But the pain went away in great measure right away.
Wow.
Now, it didn't stay completely away, so he decided he needed a few more shots, which we got. But he is just doing great. I haven't seen the socks tied around the arms and legs for quite a little spell now.
Wow.
And yesterday, he's very quiet, so he didn't want to come. And so I said, is there anything you want me to say? And first he said no. And then he turned around and he said, I'm about 90% better.
Wow.
Now, that's a lot. I mean, it was really bad for him.
What is his age?
He is 76. He just turned 76.
So we're looking at a person who suffered for many decades then.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure, on chronic
More than 50
meds.
years.
Yeah, more than 50 years. And he's saying after just 5 or 6 months, he's 90%
Oh,
reduced
yeah.
his pain.
And the doctors tried so many things. Now, we have good doctors, but they just couldn't handle it.
Sure.
The family doctor, he tried. He had some exercises, and it's been a while now, and I can't remember exactly what they were, but they didn't really help. We have a really good neurologist that's helped him with all kinds of things, but we can't get rid of this. Or we couldn't until now. Nobody that tried could do much until we got here. And this just seems to be taking care of a great deal of it.
So have you noticed anything else? Because you mentioned some of his other health challenges. Was there anything else that changed as a result of this treatment?
Probably he's sleeping better. I think.
Without the pain, I'd have to imagine, right?
I have to, yeah. He still, again, he's had the stroke, he has the diabetes, I don't know what else, but if we can get rid of this pain, then we can concentrate on the rest of it,
Yeah, no kidding. Because I imagine being in chronic pain like that for a long period of time psychologically has to, have to affect you.
Yeah, he was not real pleasant all the time.
So his moods have improved.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So was this better than what you expected? The same? I mean, I'm always curious what people's
Yeah.
expectations were,
Yeah.
because what could happen is some people said, some people might say, well, geez, I'm only 90% better. I still have some pain,
Oh,
or some
yeah,
people might say,
but-
oh my goodness, I'm 50% better, and that's a miracle.
Yeah.
So how did you see it, and how
yeah,
did you see it?
it seems much better to me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and he's happy with the results himself.
Oh,
huh?
absolutely, he's happy.
Wow.
He's just very quiet,
Yeah.
so he's not the camera person.
Well, you know what? I'm glad, because I'm happy to see it, through the lens of a sibling and somebody who's helping to, like you said, you're kind of helped to take care of some of his affairs in his life. Any last comments or thoughts you have that you think are worth sharing?
I'm just very grateful that this is available. I know that there are things that need to be done politically with it to make it more available to more people, and I hope that can be done soon.
Yeah.
But we managed it, we found it, and I'm very happy that we did.
That's great. Well, Judith, thanks so much for taking your time to come down and share your story.
Thank you for being available.